Greetings and welcome to October 1st of Animation How It Work. I'm really happy that I did layout work yesterday and the day before and figured out what I was going to be doing and got my stuff imported into Flash because I found that actually just drawing the images today was enough work. Here we are. I've got 3 frames done. As we discussed yesterday, I've done frame 1, which is just the contrails. And I found a dust pattern that I liked better from somewhere else in the show. This is a dust trail that Applejack makes, and little fluffy clouds that some of the other ponies make when they disappear off stage in a bundle of motion blurs. Here's frame 14. I thought that was a really good frame to start with for having Rainbow Dash come up, and then frame 26, which is the last frame of my first sequence that I'm going to do. And said I was going to talk a little bit about materials. These are my pencils that I'm using. I really am a huge fan of the Staedtler Mars Lumigraphs, made in Germany. However, they're not available anymore at Wet Paint. I don't know why. I love Staedtler. Their graphite is the most plastic, luxuriant kind of beautiful graphic-y, drawy thing I've ever worked with. And the pencils are fun to chew on. Instead, these are Faber-Castells. They're the triangular Grip 2001s, and I've got a set of 2Bs and a set of Bs. Normally I draw with 2B pencils, but I'm finding that that's a little bit messy with the paper that I'm using, and I'm finding that the B pencil is actually working really nicely. I know some people like a really hard pencil. I prefer something a little bit softer, and I sharpen a lot, but I really like that soft pencil. Now, for those of you who are starting out on your own and don't, spend a lot of money on your drawings yet, you're looking at almost $20 worth of pencils. Those 10 pencils cost me 18 bucks. And I was happy to pay that for these because these are really choice pencils. There's no crap in the graphite. I'm not going to have scratchy bits exposed. The graphite is nice and solid. The pencil sharpens well. I can sand the tip to get an even sharper point or to get an effect. Sometimes it's worth spending a little bit more on your materials. Could I do this with could I do this with a technical pen, mechanical pen that I picked up at Shopko or Target or Walmart? Sure I could, absolutely I could. And if I didn't have access to these pencils, that's what I'd be using. And when I started drawing, I was using technical pencils from work. I'd just grab a couple mechanical pencils and use those. And use what you've got. But if you can afford to get better pencils, you're going to enjoy drawing more. If you can afford better paper, you're going to get better results and you're going to enjoy drawing more. You really get out of your materials what you put into it. Now, my paper, I'm very happy to say for my Laser Master friends, is a Nikusa Hammermill Neenah paper. This is Neenah classic Crest cover. It is a solar white, 110 pound, which is almost 300 grams per square meter. 11 by 17 paper. The finish is smooth, acid-free, and the number, as you can see here in this image, is 4456. This paper is the thickest paper I can get through a laser printer, and it's as solid, as firm, and as bright as Bristol board. It's not quite as thick as some of the Bristol boards. I've worked with yellow pack Bristol boards especially. But at 110 pounds, it's really a solid piece of paper. It has a really hard finish, almost a clay body finish. And when I slice one of those pieces of paper exactly in half, I've got 2 frame drawing areas. And that pack of paper cost me about $56. And 250 sheets. That's actually a pretty good price for that quality of paper. If I was buying Bristol board, I would probably have been paying maybe a third more, depending upon the quality of the board I was buying. But this paper is really nice. I get this at Anchor Paper here in the Twin Cities, They do a really great job, and it's really easy to get a 5% discount from them just by shopping there a lot. And the pencils are from Wet Paint. I wouldn't shop anywhere else for pencils just because those guys are awesome. For erasers, I'm using the Staedtler Mars. Oh, here's one. Staedtler Mars plastic or film erasers. Um, they really give a nice, clean erase. I'm really pleased with it. They're huge. You have to erase, half your page, but it's worth it. They're a really good eraser. And then here's my drawing space. This is where I work. It's a pigsty, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you, computer. And as you can see, I have the backward clock. This picture isn't backward because you can see Bristol isn't backward. I have a nice backward clock because it helps me not worry about time because I have no idea what that means. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see my coffee tree, which has always been there with me. Getting back to what we're working on tonight. I've got the first 3 frames done. And loading them into ImageReady, I was able to export this quick little movie. And you can see that first frame, flash, the 14th frame, and there's the 26th frame. And it's lining up pretty good. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. As I'm working, I'll keep kind of going back to the original to see how my new frames are working. But more importantly, here it is in flash with the soundtrack. It's only a second, 1.1 seconds. But this flip through animation, man. I actually did it. It's actually in there. I'm so happy about this. Figured out how to get the frames pasted in. That was a bit of a challenge. Made that a keyframe, and then just pasted the same frame for 13 more frames. And then here's frame 14, where she's coming on. And you can see I'm using the manga style eyelids. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but one thing I don't want to do is exactly copy what was in the original scene. I think Rainbow Dash is extremely cute, and I really want to just luxuriate in drawing her. And I'm going to give her a little bit more of a plastic little kind of mouth. I like having a little bit more definition to the mouth, especially to the outer gum. And because I'm drawing this in pencil, because I'm using a manga style, because I'm a illustrator, I just want to have fun with this and really enjoy it. And I'm doing a little bit more with her ear than I probably should be. I'm going to be adding some grace lines to her hair and stuff like that. It's not going to be an exact copy of what was there before, and I'm okay with that. You can see my eyes are a little bit different. I'm trying to draw the My Little Pony eyes. I might ultimately give up with the My Little Pony eyes and go back to my own eyes. But at this point, I'm not going to redraw any frames. I'm just going to keep adding new ones. So as I go along, might see the style of the animation change from frame to frame. Kind of okay with that. I think that'll be all right. Might see the number of strokes in her hair, the number of these pointy things, grow and diminish over time. But that happens when people move. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this actually looks like when it's done. And right now, I'm pretty chuffed that I was able to do this. That's just, wow, there it is. So, obviously, between that 14th frame and the 25th frame, there's not a lot going on there. It's really short. Let me try exporting this as a movie, and let's see what we get. Just untitled, sure, what the heck. Let's just see what we end up with. Yeah, okay, fine. I'm just so pleased that, like, one of my goals for the month was just to be able to get frames into FrameMaker and open them back up again. And I'm already doing that. And that feels pretty good. How can I get rid of that stupid bar? Let's loop it. Oh, come on. Thank you, QuickTime for, oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. As you might expect, my wife's ready to kill me. If I could listen to that all day long. that's it for tonight. I've got my first 3 frames drawn. Now tomorrow I need to figure out what the next 3 frames are, because of course, obviously, as she's moving up, she's going to have a bit of bounce. So I'm gonna be pushing that movement a little bit closer to frame 26. So I'm not gonna like exactly do a frame between 14 and 26. I'm probably gonna do a frame somewhere closer to perhaps 24. Kind of give her a little bit more step into it. Something that's a little bit more in tune with the music. I'm gonna have to figure out where that beat is. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. And thanks for listening today. The big thing is, it's October 1st, and I drew today. That feels pretty good.